Hi, I'm Jeremy Crosby.
And I'm Nick Boucher. We're the hosts for the program that's all about your city, Talking Fitchburg.
Every day, we pull together the news, events, and information you need to stay on top of what's happening in the city of Fitchburg.
Find Talking Fitchburg on cable TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and our live stream on the web. Plus, you can view all our headlines and stories on Facebook, YouTube, and our video on demand service. This is your city.
Keep up with Talking Fitchburg and the issues that affect you and your neighbors.
Want to know what's happening in your city? Get Notify Me messages from the City of Fitchburg. Visit fitchburgwi.gov on your computer or mobile device and select the big Notify Me button on the left. Enter your email and/or phone number, whichever is best for you to get notifications. Scroll down the list and select all the topics you're interested in to receive email or text messages about. You'll be notified every time one of your topics is updated. Sign up for Notify Me, one more way to keep up with your Fitchburg government.
At 6 p.m. Everyone on the committee is here. Next item of business is the approval of minutes. I'll take a motion on the draft minutes of the July 23rd, 2024 Finance meeting.
I'll move approval.
Moved by Alder Jetzer. Any comments, questions? Seeing none, all in favor of the draft minutes say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is public appearances for non-agenda items. We have no one in chambers and no one online, so we can move on to item 4, Finance Director Report, including the Treasurer's Report as of June 30, 2024. Misty?
Thank you. So yes, I'll start with the Treasurer's Report as of the end of June. So a couple of things the Treasurer noted for me to pass on. One is we did have one CD that matured in June that was reinvested in July. We did do an advance to TID 18, which is that newer TID we just created. They're starting to have some costs, so we had to advance some money to them, which is very, very common in the beginning few years of a TID. And then Alder Jetzer, you noticed about the Oak Bank FDIC limit issue, so that was addressed in June as well. So thank you for pointing that out for us. So I'll pause if there's any questions on the Treasurer's Report before I say a couple other things. Okay, other things happening. So budget, of course, we're in the thick of it. We spent all day in this room today having our meetings with the mayor to talk about where things are at. One piece of really great news that I wanted to make sure I passed on. If you remember from the various presentations I've had, I said I would be surprised if we hit 2% net new construction. We almost hit 3%. So very pleasant surprise. So that's great news. It does not solve the city's financial picture for the rest of the time. It does not change the city's need to do a referendum if we want to add the positions that were being talked about. But it still did help make this next coming budget just a little bit easier, have a little bit of breathing room.
What was the total amount?
2.97%.
Wow.
Yeah. Couple other things happening. So one is the ARPA examination. They had their final field work yesterday, so hopefully we'll get that report in the next couple of months. And then GFOA we hired to help us with the payroll provider selection and implementation. They're coming out on site late next week to talk to my team, HR's team, and then various other staffs about what we're doing currently, what works, best practices, that stuff. So we're starting to kind of get into the meat of that project. So looking forward to that getting kicked off too. That's all I had. Thank you.
Wonderful. Comments, questions? Great, then we can move on to the review of bills. Item 5A, detailed review of checks for $10,000 and above for July 16th to 31st, 2024, totaling $3,023,592.18. Comments, questions? Moving on to 5B, detailed review of all checks issued, checks 127248 to 127337, July 16th to the 31st, 2024, totaling $3,137,688.97. Questions? Seeing none, moving on to 5C, detailed review of all ACH payments for $10,000 and above for the period of July 1st to the 31st, 2024, totaling $651,153.61. Questions? Seeing none, moving on to 5D, detailed review of all ACH payments from July 1st to the 31st, 2024, totaling $657,351.94. Comments, questions? Seeing none, we can move on to action items. 6A. First up is Resolution R13724, approving agreement number 1 with FGM Architects for the Police Services Facility.
I move approval.
Moved by Alder Wheeler. And who's here to introduce this?
I will.
Wonderful.
So this pre-approval resolution in front of you is to amend the contract with FGM Architects. The original schematic design was not approved by council, so there's additional design work that would need to be done. If you approve this resolution, that design would continue, and then a revised schematic design will be reviewed with council prior to beginning the actual design development. So this is the additional money needed to kind of continue that process after the last hurdle.
Any questions from the committee? What's the total amount of the change order? It's just under $400,000. Oh, wow.
Yep.
Literally $5 or just $75 under $400,000. Great. Seeing no questions, we can move it to a vote. All in favor of Resolution R13724, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Moving on to our next action item, I'll take a motion on Resolution R14124, Resolution of Support for Fiscal Year 2024 SS4A Grant Application for the Greater Madison MPO Regional Safe Streets Community Safety Enhancement Partnership.
I move approval of Resolution R14124.
Moved by Alder Jetzer. And Misty?
Tim, actually, do you mind taking this
Tim,
one?
he's online. Oh, wonderful. Hi, Tim.
Sure. Hi. Wisconsin DOT crash statistics show an increase in traffic fatalities from 550 in 2019 to 593 in 2022, the most recent year with final data. The city of Fitchburg desires to make roads safer for all users, including pedestrians, bicyclists, public transportation, personal conveyance, micromobility users, motorists, and commercial vehicle operators. The Safe Streets and Roads for All SS4A grants program provides dedicated discretionary funding to support planning, infrastructural, behavioral, and operational initiatives to prevent death and serious injury on roads and streets. Eligible projects for fiscal year 2024 SS4A grant programs include creating a safety action plan. A safety action plan would enable a city staff to make informed decisions about roadway safety projects. Greater Madison MPO is leading the development of a regional SS4A supplemental planning grant application for fiscal year 2024, and the city of Fitchburg is looking to partner with the Greater Madison MPO to provide the required 20% local match or $60,000 for the development of a safety action plan. So we're looking for support and approval of the Greater Madison MPO Regional Safe Streets Community Enhancement Partnership application for the fiscal year 2024 grant SS4A program.
Thank you, Tim. Any comments or questions from the committee? All right. Yeah, Bill and I discussed this pretty extensively in Transmission and Transit, so we've had quite an introduction to this one, but it sounds like a really great regional. It's great to have regional partners that can apply together to make it a stronger application, and we do hope to be able to be successful. One thing we did talk about was the 20% local match funding, and I believe that's coming from ARPA TID. If assuming we get the grant and we need to do the local match, what would be the source of that funding?
So included in the CIP is a separate quote-unquote project for capital grant match funding. So ultimately it was funded with fund balance from the general fund. That was in addition to the policy. But that pot of money is available in the CIP for projects just like these that would lead towards one-time kind of capital project, but have a match requirement.
Great, so it's fund balance?
Yep, so the money's available in the CIP. If the grant is awarded, we'd have to do a budget amendment to put it to work, but we'll do that if the grant is awarded.
Fantastic. Seeing no more questions or comments, all in favor of Resolution R14124, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item, I'll take a motion on Resolution R14524, approving change order number 1 for the 2024 street resurfacing project.
I move approval.
Moved by Alder Wheeler. Tim, you taking this one too?
Yes. The city approved an agreement for the 2024 street resurfacing project, which includes path resurfacing through Resolution 64-24 back on April 9th, 2024. The 2024 bid prices are low enough to accommodate additional path resurfacing than initially planned, as well as 2 half basketball courts. The additional paths are located in Wildwood South Park, Mickelson Woods Park, and a small connector bike path in the Quarry Hill neighborhood. The 2 half basketball courts are located in Seminole Glen Park and Hillside Heights Park. The sidewalks and path CIP includes funding for this work. We're looking for approval of change order number 1 for the 2024 street resurfacing project for this additional work in the amount of $51,052.50.
Fantastic. Comments, questions? Always nice when we can do a little bit more than we anticipated, so love to hear it. Seeing nothing else, we can take a vote. All in favor of Resolution R14524, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item of business is announcements. Our next finance meeting is Tuesday, August 27th, 2024, in 2 weeks. Any other announcements, Misty? Great. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Moved by Alder Jetzer. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We are adjourned at 6:10 p.m. Thank you so much.